Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World.
Jonai.
And Mike D. This is just going to be a quick little mini episode. We just finished doing the Bataan Death March, and I wanted to touch on a little something that happened after the Bataan Death March. And the reason I wanted to touch on it is because it involves some of the POWs that were involved in the march, the survivors that were involved in the march. And it's also one of the largest Allied POW escapes from World War II. So, it was called the Great Raid. And it was from Johnny's the Cabanantun Rescue. It was It was January 30th, 1945. Special operations by U.S. Rangers, Alamo Scouts, and Filipino guerrillas. They freed more than 500 Allied POWs in Luzon who had survived Bataan.
Corregidor.
Yeah, Corregidor. Oh, that was easy. And years of brutal captivity.
Years of brutal captivity.
I said that. I think I said that right. I'm just not good with the names, dude. They put up a Japanese name in some here. I'm going to butcher it. The raid was ordered, well, obviously to get POWs out of there, but they had not, when this raid was ordered, they had not fully taken over the Philippines yet. So they were in the process of retaking the Philippines, but they hadn't finished yet. So by early 1945, the U.S. forces had landed on Luzon and were driving towards Manila, creating fear that the Japanese would massacre the POWs as they had done in Palawan in December 1944. Intelligence from guerrillas and escaped prisoners indicated about 500 weakened POWs at
Cabanatuan
and significant Japanese forces in the surrounding areas. 6th Army authorized deep penetration rescue mission before those prisoners could be killed or moved. Basically, it was get them out of there so they wouldn't be murdered.
Sure.
And it was just because of who we were dealing with. The Japanese at that point were
brutal. They don't care.
They were brutal. They looked down on everybody that was
one wrong look, bayonet to the chest.
It's because they looked down on them because they surrendered. It was a cultural thing.
And that I remember hearing, watching the show, and the Japanese drilled into the soldiers' heads that, if you find a person who surrenders, you kill them. And that will set a precedence of your own troops. If they surrender, that's what's going to happen to you. So like, well, fuck it. We'll kill everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, you and I. But I mean,
it makes sense that that's what they said.
That's what they said.
And that's what they were trying to instill into their soldiers. That thinking, that logic doesn't make sense to me at all, because the Americans still didn't do that. It may have happened here and there.
Yeah, sure.
But
that was their thinking. Like we're going to, if you surrender as a Japanese soldier, you know what we do to people who surrender. And that's what's going to happen to you even worse. Anyways, I digress.
No, that was enlightening. The assault group was built around the 6th Ranger Battalion, about 120 Rangers under Lieutenant Colonel Henry Mucci and Captain Robert Prince, plus Alamo Scouts for reconnaissance and roughly 200 Filipino guerrillas. I said Filipino. Like a jalapeno. Filipino guerrillas.
I think that's how they should pronounce their name. I'm a Filipino.
As guides, flank security, and blocking forces. Now, the forces infiltrated roughly 30 miles behind Japanese lines, crossing rivers, skirting roads, and bivouacking near the camp, while guerrilla units under Juan Pejota and Eduardo Jolson moved to set ambushes on the main approaches. Just after dark on January 30th, a low-flying P-61 Black Widow night fighter made repeated passes over the camp, fleeing engine trouble and distracting the Japanese guards by drawing their attention skyward. As the distraction played out, the Rangers crawled into the assault positions.
Dude, that is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Like we're gonna faint. Like And while our troops are coming in,
I'm looking for someplace to land because my plane's broken.
Meanwhile,
and hit the camp from multiple sides. One group rushed in the main gate while the others cut through the wire, quickly killing the guards and the machine gun crews and overwhelming the camp in minutes.
It's fucking awesome.
This is the part that
I've never heard of this. This is fantastic.
This is the part that
that our boys were that good.
And I could visualize this too. Most of the POWs were emaciated, sick, and initially stunned, so the Rangers had to physically carry or support many of them. Water buffalo carts and local civilians helped where they used to haul the weakest men to the exfil route. While the column withdrew, Pehota and Joseon guerrillas held off larger Japanese force at the Kabu River and nearby roads, using demolitions and ambush fire to block pursuit long enough for the columns to slip back towards U.S. lines. The raid freed 489 POWs and 33 civilian internees, about 522 people in total, while the Rangers suffered only a handful of killed and wounded. Several hundred Japanese troops were killed in the camp and in the river crossing and ambushes. Many of the liberated prisoners were survivors of the Bataan Death March and years of starvation and disease. Their testimony after the rescue helped publicize Japanese atrocities and became a powerful symbol of keeping faith with Bataan defenders. Yeah, I wanted to emphasize this because this right here could be a movie, and it probably is someplace. I'm going to have to look.
I do remember years ago, I watched a thing on the Bataan Death March, and it was a bunch of older World War II vets, and they're like, when we got saved, we threw the Japanese guard or whatever in the pit we dug, and each of them took its stone. We just dropped it on top of him until he got buried and died. Dude, that's fucking badass.
That's kind of brutal.
Well, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Right? Would you do the same thing?
I don't know.
If you had a stone and you would, you might just drop it in there. This guy fucking killed all your friends, and
I don't know. War makes you do.
I would do it. I would do it 10 times, 100 times. Give me a fucking boulder. I'll throw it in his fucking brain.
Boulder on my shoulder.
I'm just saying, man.
So that's
look at those two studs.
The Great Raid from World War II.
Why am I like going on a downward angle? About to pass that.
I think it's the way the camera's pointing.
About to pass. You're like hanging on the wall and you want to get a blowjob. I'm throwing ropes left and right. I'm like, yeah.
You got anything else to add to that?
Nope, just that little tidbit. Like, that was legit. Like, they threw that guy in a fucking pit and they're like, bye-bye. Little rock, until he was done. How satisfying would that be?
That'd be pretty satisfying. So we took on the Great Raid as a little mini episode. And you go take on the world. Until next time, take on the world.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is going to go downhill real quick.